Welcome to Sports Central. I'm Neal Duncan. We got a great show lined up for you. We got Julie Adams from the city of Lakeland, Cody McGhee from the city of Auburndale, and Marc Zimmerman from Polk County Sports Marketing. Stick around, everybody, for this week's edition of Sports Central. Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Kris Keprios, and this first segment brought to us by the Hilton Garden Inn in Lakeland, good partners of tourism and sports marketing.
Yes.
But been a long time since you've been on the show.
It has. I hope it's like riding a bike or something like that you don't forget, but I'm a little nervous.
Are you nervous? No,
No,
you're
I'm
not.
not.
No, you're not. You know, it's amazing that it's almost the holiday season. It's upon us, Thanksgiving in another week or so, and then it'll be Christmas, and then we roll over the calendar. So when we get to the fourth segment and talk about the local update, certainly want to talk about a lot of things that are happening now, a new vacation guide, all the things that happen in spring. It's going to be crazy.
Sure, yeah, it definitely is. And I actually forgot for a minute that it was getting into the Christmas season until our first guest came onto the set and her flashing lights and blinking Christmas lights were on. So.
And she didn't bring any for us, but we do want to welcome Julie Adams from the city of Lakeland to Sports Central, and love the festive attire.
Hey, just an intro into what we're looking for as we enter into our holiday season. You know, here at the city of Lakeland, we like to be festive and fun all the time. But yeah, we encourage Holly Jolly attire at our Holly Jolly Jingle Bell Jog, which is coming up in the middle of December on the 16th. And so I wanted to ring in the season as well.
There
Absolutely.
You go.
Yeah.
So the Holly Jolly Jingle Bell Jog 5K,
Yes.
that's going to be on December 16th. But before we get to that, on December 9th, I believe,
Yes.
Snowfest. Talk about Snowfest.
Yeah, we have a ton of events and happenings in and around Lakeland, and the city of Lakeland, we host our 37th annual Snowfest event. It's going to be downtown Munn Park. In the park and the surrounding streets, family event. We bring ice, make it snow in Lakeland. We have 2 ice mountains. We've got several vendors. We have inflatables for the children, and we are able to give back to the community from the profits from this event. So we just like to remind everybody that event is happening. We do have another snow event in and around Lakeland, and they happen to be on opposite Saturdays this year. So we're really excited to welcome everybody down to downtown Lakeland on the 9th.
Yeah, well, and Neal, you talked at the beginning of the show of how once we get into this Christmas season and the holidays, so much is going. There's always stuff going on, but even more going on. But really, and we'll talk about it all throughout the show today, all of our cities really embrace this season. There's so many special events going on in Lakeland. We'll talk to Cody later about what Auburndale's got going on. But another one, yet another holiday event that everyone I know looks forward to in Lakeland is the Christmas Parade. That's coming up too.
Yes,
So-
Thursday, December 7th, we'll have our 37th annual Christmas Parade. And we will keep to the same route that we've had in years past. We step off from the RP Funding Center, located just adjacent to downtown, and it winds in and around downtown. And actually, this will be my second year being able to co-host the parade. And so I get an up-close and personal view of the parade itself and get to talk a little bit about all of the entries that we have. We have over 110 entries this year in the parade, so it's guaranteed to be an awesome event, just like it has been in the years past. We have a lot of community involvement. This year we are looking to see probably close to 25 or 30,000 people in attendance. So we ask everyone to make sure you plan ahead for parking and to get in and around the downtown area. Again, guaranteed to be another great event.
I think people just started putting their chairs out today
same
for
thing.
the
The
parade.
city encourages that, right? Go ahead and put your chairs out now.
If I could do a little announcement for those of you that are watching, yes, you know, that is something that we laugh about, and we encourage and wrap our arms around the fact that we have a community that embraces this event so much that the chairs go out so early, but we do ask for everyone to abide by the 24-hour rule. We're really asking the community to latch on to that request again this year, 24 hours before. So we're looking to see chairs maybe Wednesday, but I do appreciate the joke because we laugh at ourselves as well.
Yeah, talk about annual traditions. That is an annual tradition as well, is to see how quickly the chairs go out. But let's move our focus to Saturday, December 16th, the 3rd annual Holly Jolly Jingle Bell Jog. But before we actually turn or talk about the 5K, It's going to be located at Cleveland Heights Golf Course, but the Three Parks Trail, talk about that, when that opened, and what citizens or residents of Polk County can enjoy other than this event there.
Yeah, so the Three Parks Trail is a lovely addition to our parks and offerings within the city of Lakeland. And that was constructed by our Public Works Department, and they came to us close to the opening of that amenity, and they said, hey, we want to commemorate and do something fun to kick off and change up your typical ribbon cutting. So they approached Parks and Recreation, since it does encompass 3 of our parks, and said, hey, what can we do? So we came up with the idea of the 5K. That's where it was born 3 years ago. But the Three Parks Trail does encompass 3 of our areas. So the Heights, the golf course, we have our Peterson Park area, just adjacent to the golf course is Common Ground, and the Bierman family tennis courts. But if you continue down around Peterson and through Peterson, and then it goes through Woodlake Park, up through the Waterford neighborhood area, and then back to the golf course. So what's really cool about this trail is that you really do feel like you're in distinct different areas. You've got the wooded areas through Lake John on the south side of the trail, and then you come back through more residentially populated areas in Woodlake, and then you circle back around to the golf course. So it is quite a pleasant route to take when you're running or adding it to your training if you're doing more long distance runs. So, and our runners love it, the running community, because you can add in more miles by using Lake Morton, the Success Avenue area, Lake Hollingsworth, and then on down to the Three Parks Trail.
Which is where this event will be taking place, and again, it is Saturday, December 16th. Talk about the registration. Is it all on site, or can people register now?
Oh, absolutely. We encourage pre-registration. It's up now. We have a registration website, which is www.jbjog.com. And you can fully register on site. We do have the 5K distance, and this year we're introducing a kids fun run, which we're lovingly called the Reindeer Dash, and that is available online as well. The 5K distance is $35, and the kids fun run is $10, and the kids fun run does include a finisher medal, and I got to take a peek at those. They've arrived, and they are absolutely awesome. Our medals, which are finishers, not finishers medals, but placement medals for the top 3 and 5 year age groups, are awesome as well. We pride ourselves in, you know, as a runner, you love that swag. You love to have, if you're a placer, you love to see what the medal is going to be like. So we haven't unveiled that yet, but I can guarantee that it won't disappoint. We have t-shirts for all registrants, and as long as you register by November 28th, you're guaranteed your t-shirt. And then, of course, we'll order plenty of extra, hopefully being able to capture everybody that registers. But again, registration online. We will have packet pickup on Thursday and Friday night before the race at Fitnitch, located at Lakeside Village. And you can also register day of. There will be ability to do that. We've put in our order for nice chilly weather like we've had the last 2 years. So hopefully that will come through as well. But we also, one of the most fun parts about this event is that we encourage holly jolly attire. I had my tutu. I decided not to wear it in today, but that is something that is a race day staple for me. That's right, I said tutu. But
like a Christmas colored?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I
guess that would make sense.
We have tights, we have tutus, we have hats, we have stockings. I mean, people go all out, and we encourage it. And it's a family event as well. So bring your kids, you know, tell your friends. It is a chip-timed race, but we encourage everyone, if you just want to come and walk the route, you know, we'll stage accordingly. And the competitive runners, the gentleman that's won the last 2 years has already registered again this year. He finishes in about 15 minutes, so I couldn't drive it that
just
fast.
Just over my time, yeah.
That's right, that's right.
Was it you?
Yeah. No, I just sat it out the last few years. I don't want to show
give
them
everybody
up.
else a chance.
That's nice of you.
It's
I
awful
appreciate
nice.
that.
Yeah.
Santa's stopping by.
He will be there, yes. Santa will make an appearance, and he's also signed his clause. See what I did there?
If the lights weren't bad enough.
He will take photos with all of the winners, the placement winners. So that's,
nice.
and of course with the children. So we're really excited to pull him away from his busy December schedule.
Yeah, December 16th, that's getting close for him.
I know
I'm surprised he can make that.
He gave us the, okay, I'll be there.
Okay.
So he will be there. We'll have an awesome Finishers Village with local sponsors and businesses. We'll have our parks division, our very own parks division, with a plant giveaway that's been a huge hit in the last few years. So refreshments and all of that, of course. And we'll be doing our awards ceremony. And if we can get Santa on stage to do a little line dancing with us, that might be the bonus.
Well,
Wow.
We talk about these events, and of course in Sports Central we always talk about numerous events, and it's a blend of events that individuals from the outside are participating in, and then events that locals are participating in. But when you have events like this, it really is a mixture, because if someone's coming down here, there may be a snowbird, or it's someone who is down for the holiday season, and it's an opportunity. So, we're going to have Cody on next. We appreciate on the county side of things what the municipalities do at the local level, creating events like this, and certainly running. It's really taken off in Polk County over the last few years. In fact, we'll have Marc Zimmerman from Polk County Sports Marketing on later. You look at Holloway Park, you look at the 5Ks and all this, and so we just want to say thank you to you guys and the city of Lakeland for what you guys have done in this arena.
Yes, absolutely. We love our running community. We know that Lake Hollingsworth has made numerous publications as one of the most used running trails in the country, really. And so we are excited to be able to offer these additional routes for these runners to work into their training regimens, or just to go out and enjoy as a family on a walk. The profits or the proceeds from this event go to the perpetual care of the trail, so that we can continue to provide this as a top quality space for the community, and continue to keep it. And actually there are plans in the future. I'm trying to remember what the Public Works Department told me, but in I think 2018 or 2019, to do an expansion of the trail and create the actual trail environment on the east side over by Wood Lake. So that'll be an improvement. So we're really already looking forward to that.
So the Christmas trifecta in Lakeland in order is the parade, then Snowfest, and then the Jingle Bell Jog.
That's right.
All right.
That's
All right.
right.
Well,
Yeah. We
should be
have,
fun.
we have a lot going on. We're excited to get there. The holidays are always so hectic for everyone, but we want to be able to provide different levels of activities for everybody to enjoy and just get into that holiday spirit.
Julie, one more time before we go, what is the website? jbjog.com?
jbjog.com.
I was paying attention.
I saw that.
And I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget.
Yes.
All right, Julie,
Yes.
thank you so much. We look forward to all those events in Lakeland. And again, we appreciate all that you and the Parks and Rec and the whole entire city of Lakeland do for Polk County.
Absolutely. We thank you for having us.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. And while we're at break, we're going to take a look at some footage that a little bit interesting. At Stunt Academy Media Day, John Zimmerman, not Marc Zimmerman, who will be on later, but John Zimmerman hosted a media day up there for an event that's going to happen January 6th. Take a look at this action. Kris and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central.
My name's John Zimmerman, and it's called John Zimmerman Stunt Camp. It's a way for people to get the knowledge and basic skills to get into the theme park stunt shows or the film business. And there's a whole procedure for that, because you have to know, who do you get in touch with? How do you make a resume that someone will read? What skills do you need to get into the movie business? And how to be accepted by the stunt community? So this is a 7-day, very intensive course to teach all of that. Not just the skills, but the knowledge of how to continue. I was born in Los Angeles, California, and I used to be what they call the beach gymnast. I didn't compete, but they'd have swinging rings and high bars and all this stuff on the beaches of California. I picked that up. I learned how to trampoline. I learned how to do a lot of circusy type things from some old people that had backyards like this. And I used to get kicked off of movie sets when I was a teenager. And then I went ahead and left Los Angeles and went on with my life. And I was here in Florida, and I based myself out of here. I was working as a professional flying trapeze artist. I used to work with Ringling Brothers Circus, live on the train, things like that. And the movie business started becoming very big here in the middle 1980s. They had the TV show Miami Vice. They started filming movies here. And I had an opportunity to start doing it, and I really liked it, and that's how I got into the movie business. I have many instructors. All these people are still working stunt people, so they won't always be available when I have a class schedule. But one criteria I have done was everybody that's working for me has to have at least 50 movie or television credits on IMDb, which is International Movie Database. So that shows how experienced they are, very experienced. Well, the camp is open to anybody over 18 years old that's in good physical shape, that feels that they can go through and learn the skills that we teach. And I know that there will be people that maybe they're just doing it for fun. They always wanted to do it, but they have a regular job. They have responsibilities in life, and it'd be like a vacation for them, and that's fine. We want all different types of people in the school.
I'm an instructor for high falls, air ratchets, and also the fire burns that we'll be doing here. The fire burns, as well as some of the high falls, will be taught here at this location. And then some of the more weather-sensitive activities will be performed at another location inside of a large warehouse building, which, you know, accounts for rain and things like that we don't have to bother with. I think that anybody that has an eagerness to be a part of the stunt community and be in the film business, I think that they have a lot of dedication ahead of them. You know, it's not a quick little hobby, but for those that do want to do it, they have an opportunity to be a part of live shows as well. And there's plenty of live shows that we have here in Orlando, so you can do the Sinbad show or the Indiana Jones show here in Orlando. There's a vast array of opportunities, and anybody that wants to do a little bit more with their bodies and be physically active, this is definitely the opportunity for them. It's very important to be a people person. None of this is done in a singular situation. There's large groups of people that are working together for long hours in order to make all of this stuff done in a manner that looks pleasing on television, but it's also done in a way that allows for the utmost safety in every sense of the word. One thing that I really enjoy when I come here is that apart from the hustle bustle tourism that you see in Orlando, it's always very crowded, and there's plenty to see in Orlando, but to come out here and be a part of space that most would not get to normally see, I think it's a really nice environment, and it's very relaxing. And when people come here for a vacation, you know, that's what tourism's all about. So I think that this is a great opportunity for people that want an exciting experience that they can go home and say, you know, this is what we did on our vacation, which is not something that a lot of people get to be able to do.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal, Duncan alongside Kris Keprios. The second segment brought to us by the Hampton Inn in Bartow, and some great footage there. Would you do that?
There's a guy on fire in that footage.
It really was.
That escalated quickly.
I volunteer you. Would you do that? Would you let somebody catch you on
No,
fire?
not at all. No, I probably wouldn't do 2/3 of the things in that video, but
There-
it looked fun. You know, good for them.
I guess that's why they do well. And
But it is cool to see that kind of, because that's the stuff
yeah.
you see, like the
Sure.
guy that was thrown backwards. That's the stuff you see in the superhero movies. That's how they do it. So it's kind of neat to see that.
pretty neat.
Touch
Speaking
of Hollywood, right here.
Speaking
in
of
Polk
superheroes, our next guest
County. Wow.
is not a superhero. Cody McGhee from the city of Auburndale. Cody, welcome to Sports Central. And would you do any of that? I know you were watching a little
I'm
bit
going to
of that
say
action.
yes right now, but when you got there, I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
being lit on fire is probably not the extent
It's a
of what
little
I would
extreme.
do. Yeah.
We should get that out at Lake Myrtle.
Yeah, I like the idea that when you fall, that's the time to douse you with a fire extinguisher. No, let's go ahead and get that before then.
As long as you're doused at some point with a fire extinguisher, you're doing well.
That's when you realize that you don't have them up to date, and then all of a sudden they're just spraying you with nothing.
There's issues. Well, pretty cool action there. Another event that we have that's going to be pretty cool, and always is a great event, the 16th annual Havendale Christmas Parade. It's coming up. When is it? And I would say where is it, but it's kind of the name.
Havendale.
Yeah, Havendale.
It's December 8th. It's on Havendale Boulevard. It actually starts at Highway 17 and Havendale Boulevard on the Winter Haven side, and then finishes at the Publix on Havendale on the Auburndale side. So it's about a 3-mile track. We've got a big list of vendors this year. We've got 90 vendors that are going to be there. Usually we have somewhere between 70 or 75 and 90 this year, so we're pretty excited about that. It starts at 7 o'clock, but we close the roads at 6, so we try to tell everybody, make sure you get out there between 5:30 and 5:45 before you realize you can't drive down Havendale anymore. But it's a real fun event. We're excited about it. I love it. This is my third one that I'm doing, and it's a lot of Christmas cheer. Santa shows up, so the kids get a real big kick out of that, and it's really good opportunity to show off the businesses and groups of Auburndale and Winter Haven, because it's such a joint effort between the cities of Auburndale and Winter Haven.
Well, and you just mentioned, closing the roads, and we talked with Julie about the Lakeland Parade, and we all know the popularity of that. I mean, all of these parades are huge. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of people, right? It's no different at Havendale.
Yeah, it's because the route is so long. It's 3 miles, and it spans between 2 cities, and actually has a section of unincorporated Winter Haven and Auburndale. You pull in the sheriff's office as well to be able to help out with traffic control. So we have pretty much 3/4 of the Winter Haven Police Department and fire, about all of Auburndale's police and fire, and then a section of the sheriff. So if you can just imagine 3 miles long of a route and then that many people hanging out, there's a pretty fair amount of people that show up to the event.
I think this year is going to be a little bit different as well for all these events. I know there's a song, Need a Little Christmas. It seems that way with all the natural disasters that have happened over this last year, and some of the tragedies that have taken place. And I mean, I know I already have my Christmas stuff up at the house because it just makes you feel better. And it's a good opportunity for folks to maybe come together in one place and enjoy the season.
Yeah, all of our big feel-good events, you'll see a real big kick on popularity or spectators who want to have something that's more cheerful in their life. So it's a real good chance for mom and dad to bring the kids out and park and sit and watch a festive parade. And with, like you said, with all the things going on in the world, it kind of puts pause on any of the negativity that's going on, and reminds you of how great this time of year is.
Well, that's going to be the 16th annual Havendale Christmas Parade, Friday, December 8th. Roughly, it starts at 7, so a couple hours from start to end. Now, as soon as the parade's over, I know the city of Auburndale, a lot of attention gets focused, turning the calendar over, and all the craziness that's going to happen. Of course, a lot of that led with the state headquarters for the Florida Youth Soccer Association being in Auburndale, and the number of soccer events. Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's also talk about Rustmount Baseball, the Central Florida Collegiate Invitational. That'll be right around the corner. So talk about the kind of in preparation mode right now, but talk about it when the calendar turns over.
Well, this weekend we actually have 3 days of Friday, Saturday, Sunday of women's lacrosse out at Lake Myrtle. And that's typically one of our last events before we kind of shut the complex down to get ready for the new year. I think we have 2 in the month of December for soccer events, but then past that, everything kicks up the first weekend of January. We'll have 8 weeks straight of soccer, and that's all different Olympic development programs from Florida Youth Soccer, FSPL, which is the Florida State Premier League from Florida Youth Soccer, as well as the state tournament for the adults, the Florida State Soccer Association. So I think on Martin Luther King weekend, we'll have all 11 fields kicking off for 4 days for the adult soccer. And while that's going on, we're preparing for one of the biggest baseball events in the area, where we'll have over 350 teams coming for a 6-week period to local schools, but as well as Lake Myrtle Sports Park and the Chain of Lakes baseball fields. So we typically at the end of the year we do a good estimation of what we had on those fields, and to give you an idea of how big that event is, last year we had 5,100 innings at Lake Myrtle Sports Park alone. So of the 9 baseball fields that we have going on and of the 350 teams, there's about 640 games and 5,000 innings that go on a 6-week period. And that gives you just kind of an idea of the size of the event that comes into Polk County.
So you're saying that's a lot.
It's significant.
And great impact for Polk County with those many people coming in.
Yeah, and when it comes to Lake Myrtle, we always talk about what a great partnership that is between the county and the city of Auburndale, and all these innings that you mentioned that go on these fields, and the games that are played, not only baseball but soccer year-round. Auburndale maintains those fields. So talk about the work and the manpower it takes to maintain those and keep them going in the midst of that big event of Rust Mat, but everything else. I mean, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are working day and night during those events, right?
Yeah, at Lake Myrtle alone, we have 11 soccer fields and 9 baseball fields. And from the 1st of January through the 2nd weekend of June, we have probably about 20 soccer events that we put on. The Rust Mat Invitational, which is 6 weeks long, and then another handful, probably 5 or 6 other baseball events that use pretty much all of the 9 fields. So that being said, from January 1 until about the middle of June, my staff is dead. They are geared up and ready to rock, and then June comes and everybody wants to go on vacation for a couple of months. But we have a staff of 10 that work at the complex itself, which includes all of the event side of things, and you put in your regular 40 hours, but then you can probably put in another 20 or 25 hours over the weekend for just the events going on. Mm-hmm. But it's a really amazing complex that you'll see people come in and do an event, but also stay in Davenport or Winter Haven or Haines City or Auburndale or Lakeland. So the complex is a great opportunity for all of the county to share in anything that's coming into the complex. And Auburndale gets that as well, and the hotel that's in town, as well as the restaurants that are in town.
Well, you talk about the proximity to the Parkway, and we talked about this a decade ago, how when Lake Myrtle came in and a number of other projects came in, how the entire corridor of the Polk Parkway would change, and now you're seeing some of that with Florida Poly, and now the new Suntrax Test Center there, and a number of other projects, and USA Water Ski, the cable park at Lake Myrtle, and it just seems to be pushing down the Parkway. And as I said to Julie, I want to thank you and Mr. Green and the commission there at the City of Auburndale for their vision for the future. And we're seeing a lot of those things that maybe were planned 10, 15 years ago coming to fruition. So we simply say thank you for that.
No problem. It's a fun thing to watch, because I'm coming in once the building blocks are starting to be put together. So the things that people have envisioned 10 years ago, I'm actually seeing the benefits of all that hard work. So like you said, USA Water Ski will be open in 2018. They've already got the poles in the water, and it looks like they're ready to go. So we're pretty excited about that, and how everything really meshes together around Lake Myrtle. So the Suntrax, USA Water Ski, Lake Myrtle Sports Park itself, and the incoming new youth baseball fields that are as a project the city's working on. I think once we see all of those start painting all together, we're going to see a really cool complex come up.
Well, to keep with our Christmas theme before we have to wrap up this segment, tell us one more time, let's go back to the first reason you were here. We were talking about the parade. Give us the date again, the times, and all of that.
It's December 8th. It's the Havendale Christmas Parade. It'll start at 7 o'clock. It starts on the Winter Haven side and moves its way to the Auburndale side. We'll have about 90 vendors, and we tell people that the roads are going to close at 6, so make sure you're out and about before 6 o'clock, or you're not going to be able to get to wherever you're trying to go. But it'll be a fun event. We're really looking forward to it. And
with it being, like you said, the parade route is such a large area, you probably don't have the problem of people needing to stake out and put their chairs out. It's a more spaced out area, right?
Yeah, usually they start putting their chairs out around noon, 1 o'clock, somewhere right around there. You'll start seeing just vacant, empty chairs along Havendale. But because it's so long, there's really a ton of places to find a spot, and you'll see that just start coming together around 6:45.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Cody, for the work on the Christmas parade and all the work with the city in Lake Myrtle, because that's where our office is. So we appreciate that. We do appreciate that. And thanks for coming on Sports Central.
No problem.
All right. Well, we keep talking about all the great things that have come to Polk County and all the great things that will be coming to Polk County, but one of them has finally been realized with the home opener of the Lakeland Magic. That took place on Friday, November 10th, about a week ago. We've got some action that we're going to look at from that opening game, which I believe they won. They came back and won that game. So Kris and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central.
Y'all hear that? We need y'all here every night. So y'all know that we think of you, and our person know the community is something special. So y'all get up, get loud, it's game time, baby.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. I'm Neal Duncan alongside Kris Keprios, and this third segment brought to us by Abuelos. Did you try out for the Lakeland
I
Magic?
did not, no. But I did go to one of the games.
You played in high school, right?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I couldn't do that now, though. I'm too old, yeah.
The talent level at those games is unbelievable because it's the development league for the Magic. And if you want to kind of bring the local flair to it, you will. remember Tony Bradley from Bartow High School, won national championship last
Yep.
year at North Carolina, was the first round pick of the Los Angeles Lakers, then traded to the Utah Jazz.
Yep.
Okay, so first round pick, he's playing for Utah's D-League team.
Wow.
So a first round pick,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
an experience. So it is like watching major college basketball there at the Lakeland RP Funding Center.
Yeah, you mentioned the level of competition and play in North Carolina. I mean, you look down the roster for either the Magic or whoever they're playing, you're going to see, you name the top-ranked college team, UConn, all of them, they're up there. So these are great athletes. And went to the second home game, and the level of play, just the level of entertainment, it's great. It's a lot of fun. Definitely worth checking out.
Definitely affordable, like you said,
Oh, yeah.
family friendly, and there's really something for everybody. There's a kids area. They've updated the food and beverage areas, and just a great opportunity for some good entertainment that's really cost effective. Well, we want to welcome Marc Zimmerman for our third segment from Polk County Sports Marketing, and a great entertainment guy himself, right?
Yeah, that's definitely what I do.
There's a reach, right?
Nice segue there.
I
Neal.
should have said a great venue that we have now in Polk County, because we want to. Obviously, it's been the goal to kind of diversify what sports marketing is doing, different venues around the county. So you can only have so many baseball events, so many softball events. Not that we don't want as many as possible, but you burn up the fields because they have to have some rest. So looking at different sports, like we did in Frostburg 3 years ago with the World Shoot and with shooting sports, Holloway Park. Talk to us about how it's kind of evolved over the last few years. And now we're talking about major events being hosted there.
Yeah, so this year was really a turning point for the park. Mr. Holloway obviously created the park, owned the land there, has really done a fabulous job of transforming, and the staff out there has done a fabulous job of just transforming an old phosphate mined area into what is one of the best cross-country courses in the state. It's right there with Appalachia Regional Park in Tallahassee, where the state championships is held. Florida State's home course up in Tallahassee. So we are right there competing on that level with Holloway Park. And it's something that this year ended up with two really significant new events. The FLRunners.com Invitational, which is one of the largest events in the state, actually one of the largest cross-country events in the country. Has high school, middle school, and college runners over a 2-day period. And it's was started actually by a former intern of ours. And so it was great to see that event, which started in Polk County 18 years ago and was here for 3 years, and then outgrew our venues at the time. We didn't have Holloway Park 15 years ago, and then come back 15 years later, and I think it's found a new permanent home. In addition, we held the NCAA Division II South Regional. We've never really had a major college event there. We've had some small events that Florida Southern and Southeastern have hosted out there, but we've never had a major college event. So that was incredible experience, to see those college teams, those college runners come in and see how they compete. It was certainly a different atmosphere, a little bit than some of the other events that we've hosted.
Well, you said something I want to touch on. So you said it's a great cross-country course. So for those like me that aren't really runners, and certainly you're like us. Well, I thought
Yeah.
talk about what makes a great cross-country course, whether it's what makes it great to the runner or to the event organizer. Like you're talking NCAA coming in for an event, it's got to be a good course. So what makes a great cross-country course?
So that's kind of changed over the years. Your traditional cross-country courses, you saw them at the beginning. They ran off into the woods. You didn't see them until the end. People aren't really up for that anymore. They want to see the runners more. So the course kind of doubles back on itself a lot. So it makes it very accessible for fans. And it's great. You watch them start. You're over there at the mile mark. You can very easily get to the 2 mile. You can see them about 4 or 5 times on that cross-country course. That's rare. For a course like Holloway, if you want to go to a big open field and watch them run in circles, sure, you're going to see the whole race, but that's not really challenging for the runners either. It's unlike most of Florida, we have some hills in our county. So the terrain goes up and down. It's some small hills. It's a mixture of terrain. It's mostly grass, but there's some sand involved there. It's just really something that, and there's some sections where the runners are by themselves. So that's great for them too. I mean, there's times when you want that cheering. There's times when you are going off and you want, just kind of that time to run. But it is a great venue, not just for the competitive athlete, but for anybody really. The park is open to the public. Even though it's privately owned in a foundation, it's open to the public Tuesday through Sunday. Basically from dawn until dusk. The time change kind of changes the hours on it. But if you go out there when it's light out, you're going to be able to get on the trails unless there's an event, if there's an event going on. But there's lots of trails. They have a whole nature trail side that's just for, there's no running on it. It's for hiking and walking and nature viewing. So it's really a great thing out there.
So not only is it good for special events, but when we have visitors to the area, they can also enjoy scenery and some of the kind of natural.
Definitely, yeah. There's an eagle's nest out there, so there's an eagle. The park has a couple of different Facebook pages, and they really get on there, and some of the photographers that go out there, they showcase the nature that's out there. They take a lot of great pictures of either the birds or the butterflies, or everything that's there. In addition to the whole cross country side, which is something that obviously we're a little more involved with. But you're right, the visitors can get out there on a regular basis, especially on the weekends if they're looking for that type of environment. It's very accessible. You get in there right off US 98, and it's something that we're very excited about the future of it. This NCAA event, this was the first year we've hosted something like that. We have the event for 2 more years coming back. So the teams were really complimentary of the facility, of Lakeland itself. You had teams from Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia coming in for that NCAA cross-country event. So it was great to see that type of variety of the teams coming in.
And you mentioned an NCAA event. There's a lot of work that goes into bringing an event like that here. Some people may think, oh, these events just show up, the people come. Talk about the process of, for example, NCAA. What do you have to do to bring that type of event here? Yeah,
so the first thing you really have to do is you have to have a great partner. And so our great partner on that side is Florida Southern College, obviously being an NCAA Division II institution. And so that helps us to go out and really go after the events. We can't do it without them. It was great working with their staff. We had a lot of meetings. It was a lot of logistics, making sure that the visiting teams knew where to go, knew what to do, where to stay, where the coaches meeting was going to be. And then, there's a lot of other stuff you need to get to the NCAA. So dealing with them, and they're based out of Indianapolis, so you're dealing constantly with them. Our staff was fabulous. That event was led by Ryan Ritchie on our staff, but all of our staff was out there working it, either working at the gate or helping runners in the chute at various events throughout the year. They've been really great because, cross-country events are, they're early mornings, to say the least. So most of our staff were out there about 5:30 in the morning, and you're there till about 11 o'clock, noon sometimes. The cross-country event specifically, the day before that event, the collegiate event, we had the high school regionals. So we had 3 separate divisions of high school regionals that we were out there on Friday morning. We didn't go anywhere. We ate lunch there. We started setting up for the collegiate regional. The collegiate team started coming in, previewing the course. We went right to a meeting with the coaches that day, and then we're back at it the next morning, making sure that event went off successfully as well.
That's actually a great segue from the next question because, the Sports Central brand, if you will, we have the opportunity to do this television show, but we also have a radio show on the Hall communication stations. And last week, I was able to be on there and talk about the success and the number of cross-country runners at all levels, 1A through 8A or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. A lot of success there. Do you think there's a direct correlation between venues like Holloway Park and all the efforts of groups like the Lakeland Runners Club, Fitnitch, and a lot of organizations that are putting on 5Ks? Do you see a direct correlation between that and the amount of young runners we have coming up in Polk County that are winning championships? Yeah,
definitely. So the larger base you have, obviously, the more people you have participating, the better the odds are going to be that some of those elite runners are going to emerge. Mm-hmm. They're not going to get picked off by other sports. sports.
Right.
You know, because a lot of elite athletes, they're just good athletes overall. If they focus on one area, they're going to be really, really good in that area. So yeah, definitely the efforts of the Lakeland Runners Club with their elementary and middle school programs, which are free programs. They run on Tuesday nights all throughout the year. That is just a free program anybody can come out to. And then, you know, our middle schools a number of years ago added cross country. So that's helpful, getting those kids involved in that sport early, keeping them running. They had track, but it was very short, you know, season, very specific. So when they added cross country, that really helped to expose a lot of kids to the sport. I know several kids on a lot of different teams that they probably would never have been involved in cross country or running in general had they not gotten involved in middle school. So it's very helpful that, you know, that's continuing on in the school system, getting them exposed to different options. There's so many options for kids to participate in. I mean, and really, we just need kids moving. You know, it may not necessarily be that they're elite athletes, but you know, it's helpful to have them just getting up and moving around and being active.
Putting the phones and the tablets down just for a few minutes.
Just for a little bit.
That's a challenge sometimes, yeah, coaching them. That's not always the easiest thing to do, but yeah, it's helpful. It's nice, you know, and they build camaraderie with their classmates. They get to know a lot of people that they may have not known before.
Well, and it helps identify your area as elite in something. So if we're already the bass fishing capital of the world, the water ski capital of the world, home to the Florida Youth Soccer Association, Florida State Soccer Association, so soccer capital of the world. Now we have a premier run. I mean, think about it. We're very blessed to have all that we have here in Polk County. And I know there's, on the nature side, there's birding and things you can't see anywhere else in the world right here in Polk County. So want a reason to come to Polk County, go to visitcentralflorida.org because it's all listed.
Yeah, there certainly is. I mean, that's you know, you mentioned the 5Ks. There's a lot of additional events coming up. Obviously a lot of holiday events. Then we're working with several different organizations over the spring to put on a series of 5Ks. So we'll be partnering with Legoland to bring back the Brick Dash, with Bach Tower to continue on the Carillon Classic, a new event that's going to be out at Safari Wilderness, which will be an interesting
Racing zebras,
race. Yeah, it would be nice if they actually. We actually talked about going in there if we could actually get in there with the animals, but they probably said that's probably not a good idea.
Probably not.
And
the county has insurance, right?
Right. And of course, the traditional Tiger Trot. You can't forget about that race. That's been a great race that the Tigers produce every year in the spring as well. So we're really looking forward to that coming up in the spring as well.
Well, as we're running out of time here, you know, I thanked Julie with the City of Lakeland, I think Cody with the City of Auburndale, but you look at what the Board of County Commissioners have done and County Manager Jim Freeman, again, planning for the future, and a lot of those things have come to fruition now. I think it's a testament to the partnerships.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, we can't do these things by ourselves.
Right.
I mean, it's something that we have to find the right partner to put on the right event, and that's what makes everything successful.
All right. Well, Marc, thanks so much for coming on. Thanks for everything that Tourism and Sports Marketing is doing.
Thanks for letting me get out of the office, guys.
We appreciate that. All right. Well, we were talking about great sports here in Polk County and great athletes, and Makenzie Johnson, a cross country and track star from Lakeland Christian. We were able to catch up with that star here recently. So Kris and Neal, we'll be right back here on Sports Central.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's us. Well, let's take a look at the action.
I first started running in 8th grade in track season. I honestly don't know why I decided to. I was just kind of like, that might be fun. So I did, and I was really bad. But I just kept working at it, and it got better as the season went on. And then when I was going into high school, I was like, hey, it might be fun if I decided to do cross country, and I did, and it really got really good. So I never really knew like what kind of athletics I would be interested in. I knew I wanted to do a sport, but then when I finally branched out and decided to start running, I realized I can do something else. Like, I don't have to follow in the footsteps of my brothers and sisters. I can branch out. And that was kind of an eye-opener, and it really taught me to kind of go out there and seek out what interests me as opposed to what I see other people doing. When I moved here, actually, from Tennessee, it was rough because we hadn't known that we were going to move from Tennessee for very long. and it was kind of abrupt. And I didn't have a lot of time to get used to the weather here in Florida before the season started, and I didn't know anybody else on the team. And it was just a real struggle for me to feel like I fit into the team and feel like a good member of the team. And I was not sure that I really wanted to finish the season, but I did. And I just decided that I've done cross country the past 2 years. I need to keep doing this because I know deep down I do love it, and I knew that if I had quit, I would be missing a part of myself that is really a huge part of my life. I think that running, it is, even though I have dealt with getting stressed before races, when I get to go out and just run on my own and run after school or whatever, it helps me release a lot of stress about the day and other things that I have going on. I can release that as I'm out there pushing myself and running. It really helps me take my mind off of all those things. And it just makes me feel a lot better about myself. Like when I finished a hard workout, I can say, wow, I just did that. How many other people can say they did that today? And it's a really good point of self-esteem. I think it helps boost my confidence. There's a lot of mental games in running. It can be difficult to convince yourself that you're fine when you feel like you're dying, like halfway through a race. Sometimes there are times where I don't know if I can honestly make it through. I've been pushing myself so hard. But you just have to get your mind right and say, no, I've done this before. I know I can do this again, and just keep pushing yourself. A lot of it is what you decide beforehand. If you're standing on the starting line thinking, I can't do this, you're not gonna be able to do that. I've had races like that before where I stood on the starting line and I just did not feel like it was gonna be a good day. It wasn't a good day. But there have been other days where I took that mental attitude and I was like, I'm not gonna listen to that. I'm going to do good today. And it turned out to be a really good race. And it's that mental aspect of just telling yourself that you can do it, but also just making sure that you prepare in the right way. If you don't get enough sleep, if you don't stretch, if you don't eat right, then that all comes into play also. I try to always, before the race starts, early in the morning, like right after I wake up, I try to start just thinking through what I'm gonna do and thinking about the times that I need to hit and just processing it and telling myself not to worry, because I've been known in the past to have some race anxiety, but as the years have gone on, I've just been working before the race to tell myself that you have this, you can do this, it's gonna be okay, don't stress out. And so I just try to do a lot of that before the race and just to calm down. Because if I race while stressed, it doesn't usually go very well. I definitely plan on sticking with running after college. Whether or not I run for a team in college, I will definitely keep running on my own. And I would like to do marathons. I just think that would be a really good point to shoot for.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Kris Keprios. This fourth and final segment brought to us by Post 09. Great place to eat in downtown Lakeland. Really getting a lot of new restaurants.
Brazilian flair. Yeah, it really is. I've heard a lot of people compare downtown Lakeland and just really the dining scene in Polk County in general to how when Winter Park kind of started there, because I mean they're kind of known statewide, worldwide for their dining scene. We're getting there, but it starts with places like Post 09. You got Harry's downtown, a lot of cluster of great restaurants in a downtown area, and it just builds from there. So definitely getting that name out there.
And the city worked very hard to re-energize the downtown area. Again, it's kind of not on purpose, but it's become a theme of talking about things coming to fruition, and definitely the downtown area in Lakeland. So definitely a must-see. If you're a visitor from outside of Polk County right now and you're watching this, you want to get to downtown Lakeland, downtown Winter Haven, same thing. A lot of downtowns are really doing some great things. Speaking of great things, we got an event coming up Saturday, November 18th, and that's going to be the Mid-Florida Football.
Yes, it is the football Super Bowl, and this brings thousands of young football players. This is always a cool event to see. It's going on this Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Saturday the 18th. That's at Bryant Stadium. home of the Dreadnoughts, also home of the Florida Tropics outdoor team, who we'll talk about in just a second. But it's a great event, and if you want more information, it's midfloridafcc.com.
Talking about the Dreadnoughts, they're undefeated. They're going to be playing tonight as we're live right now in the playoffs. Victor Christian's still alive, and I think Frostproof. So good luck to all those Polk County high school football teams. A different kind of football. The Tropics.
Yes,
Back
this is
in
the
action.
indoor version.
Yeah,
I
the
talked
indoor.
about the outdoor
RP
team that
Funding
plays at
Center?
Bryant Center, or Bryant Stadium. The RP Funding Center is home to the indoor team, and they are playing on Saturday as well. So go out and see the Mid-Florida Super Bowl, and then go check out the Tropics. You got we talked about this off the air, but the staff at RP Funding Center is working harder than usual these days. You've got a court on in the arena, and then you got to change it over to grass, if you will, for the soccer team. So, but they have a game this Saturday against the Baltimore Blast.
Well,
and those games are a lot of fun to go to as well. We
high
talked about the
scoring,
Magic.
good action.
Yeah.
Well, that opening game for the Lakeland Magic was on a Friday night.
Yeah.
The Tropics had a game on Saturday, and then the Magic had a game on Sunday. So
Sunday afternoon too.
Sunday
It wasn't
afternoon.
Sunday night, and those are the ones that are fun. You set up a GoPro and you just get a time lapse of all the movement in there. I'd love to see that, but hint PGTV.
So, so the Tropics, Saturday, November
Pretty cool
18th. They also have a game Friday, December 1st. And then the Magic have, let's see, Friday, November 24th. These are all home games at the RP Funding Center.
They play 2 in a row, yeah.
They also have the 25th. The 24th will be against the Windy City Bulls, Chicago Bulls team. Then the Wisconsin Herd will be on the 25th.
I think that's probably the Milwaukee Bucks.
There you go. You're
team.
sharp as a tack.
Yep.
That's
why I'm here today,
North
really.
Arizona Suns on the December 2nd, which is the day after the Tropics game against the Syracuse Silver Knights. So all kinds of action going on there at the RP Funding Center. And it's not just sports events in the arena. There's also an entertainment series, a number of shows coming up for the holidays. So you definitely want to go to the rpfundingcenter.com for a list of all those events going on here in Polk County.
And you can certainly go to our website, visitcentralflorida.org, to find, like we said, we were throwing these at you left and right. You got the Tropics one night, and then you got the Magic. All these events are listed on our events calendar at visitcentralflorida.org. You can also, of course, go to the Lakeland Magic website or the Tropics website to see those as well.
Yeah, a lot of events, and as you were saying, the websites. I want to talk real quick here. We've only got about 2 or 3 minutes left. Talk about the renovation to the Visitor Information Center, 1/2 mile there on Highway 27, 1/2 mile south of I-4. Talk about what Justin and his crew has done there, and then we have a new vacation planner.
Yeah, brand new vacation guide. 300,000 copies of these are printed. It's about every 18 months. This is our #1 sales piece for Polk County when we're going to shows around the country, promoting Polk County as a vacation destination. This is the piece that has everything in it, from all the restaurants, places to stay, things to do, top attractions. And that just came out, like you said, about a month ago. So that's being distributed all over now. But yeah, once we get them here to the county, the best #1 place for them to stop before they start their vacation here is the Visitor Information Center in Davenport at I-4 and 27. Some great renovations just happened there. Brand new kids play area outside now, and they have different areas where you can learn about the different attractions and things to do. They have their store, discount attraction tickets. It's all right there. Perfect place to start your vacation or enhance your vacation as you're already here if you want to add on a couple extra days. So a great place to go.
Yeah, and also the Preview Center, the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. They just had a new induction ceremony where the likes of Chipper Jones and Warwick Dunn and Tim Tebow, among others, were inducted into the Hall of Fame. So be looking for some new memorabilia there at the Visitor Information Center for the Florida Sports Hall of Fame, as those guys are going to provide some memorabilia to go in there. So maybe a new look, new attraction.
Yeah, and as we talk about events, they do their own events out there as well, whether it's a fall festival type of event and things like that. Sometimes I know Santa's even made an appearance out there. I don't know if he's going to be there. He's obviously busy. We talked about
Very
5
busy.
different events that he's going to be at within a week, right before Christmas. But definitely check out the Visitor Information Center at I-4 and 27, as you said, about a 1/2 mile south of I-4.
Yeah, and I think it's important before we go to sponsors, it's important to also mention again, if we didn't already mention it, those discounted attraction tickets, you definitely want to grab those up. We're in the holiday season. Some special sponsors we would like to thank today: Harry's Old Place, The Ledger, Party Rentals Unlimited, Days Inn, and Cypress Lanes. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors for their continued support. And again, as Kris said earlier, for more information on sports and sporting events here in Polk County, go to centralfloridasports.com or give us a call at 863-551-4750. When's our next show?
The next show is Friday, December 1st, the first day of the month of December, only 24 days from Christmas at that point. But until then, you can watch this same program, watch me and Neal all over again until your heart's content on the following dates and times. And you mentioned the centralfloridasports.com. They will be launching a brand new website very soon, so keep checking that URL. And see a brand new design on that site, but also in the meantime, go to visitcentralflorida.org for all your events and planning needs.
Yeah. And we mentioned it earlier, the radio version on Talk 96.7 and Talk 1430 WLKF. You catch that Tuesdays and Thursdays. But we've got to go because we ran out of time. They're going to cut our mics. So for Kris Keprios, I'm Neal Duncan. We will see you again next time.